there! Hello, this is the Indigo Gel, and I straightened my hair today for you guys. I just got this new wand in today. I actually bought it off Etsy. It has a little citrine crystal at the end. It was called Fairy or White Wizard Wand, so I was like, yes, that's for me. And then I bought it. Today I am excited to talk to you guys and just do a little sit down. I'm super excited to talk about self-love, self-acceptance, and some of the tips that have helped me over the last few years. Also, I just want to introduce you to my little unicorn. This is Indigo, and I just like to have her around for comfort, really. She's a great unicorn. She doesn't ask for much.
She is the mother I never had. She is the sister everybody would want. I don't know a better person.
Really, I just wanted to keep her here for emotional support. And I feel like that kind of can lead into our topic and discussion of self-love. Before starting this video, I kind of was tuning in and channeling into my spirit guides and what are some of the messages that I should be giving to you guys today. And what I got from them is that now is the time for us to be really believing in ourselves and letting go of the old limiting beliefs that have been holding us down and keeping us from being our authentic selves. And with a lot of what's going on in the world today, I feel like self-love is such an important thing to discuss and to spread. To me, self-love is about being your truest and most authentic self without judgment. So the opposite of self-love, in my opinion, is self-criticism, judgment, even perfectionism. Because oftentimes when we seek perfection in ourselves and in others, it's a form of conditional love. Conditional love is something that I honestly think has been plaguing the world for centuries. It's really unfortunate because when we're babies, when we come out of the womb, you know, what we really crave and what's great for our development is unconditional love, to be given complete and total acceptance regardless of the grades we get, regardless of the merits we receive in life. We want to be accepted and loved just for being who we are. That's what we as humans really want deep down. Unfortunately, because of how the world is these days and society is, that's not something that is readily available necessarily. I know when I was a kid, I grew up under strict parental rules, and for me it was like I always had to be the best in everything I did, or else I felt like I was disappointing my parents, or I felt like I was disappointing the people around me because they really expected really big things from me. And so I just felt this enormous pressure from a really, really young age to excel in every single thing I did. And it's just interesting because on the one hand, my mother was very academically inclined and she was very strict on me academically. And then on the other hand, my father was very, very strictly religious, and he cared more about if I was following the church rules, what had been outlined for me within the religion very closely, and if I was doing certain practices daily. And it just, for me, it got to be too much, probably when I was like 7. But I felt so much pressure. I would actually break down a lot. It's what led to a long cycle of depression and anxiety for me. I will say everything that they did was always how they, from their perspective, what was in my best interest. So I'm not blaming them by any means. I only give this example to show that we don't automatically come out of the womb with people who are showering us unconditionally with love. Normally, when people have children, they have expectations for them already before they're even born. And because this is how our society is these days, from a young age, we're told in order to receive love, we must do this, this, and this, or we must not do this, this, and this. So we put so much pressure on ourselves to please first our parents, and then secondly our other family members, and then even friends and society at large. We feel like in order to receive love, we must have basically a list of things accomplished or things that we are working on, and we have to have a certain set of characteristics, we have to look a certain way, we have to have money. A lot of people will spend most of their life looking for those things, trying to achieve those things, trying to gain those things until they die, because they feel like that's what they need to receive love. So the power in self-love is that if you already generate love within yourself from inside of you, and you don't feel like you need to keep buying these things or achieving these things or impressing these people in order to receive love, then you have the power. You are taking your power back from the world and from all of these other people, and you're giving yourself the power and saying, I don't need all these people to approve of me. I already approve of myself. All I need is myself to approve of me. And then that's when you gain all this self-confidence, because you're not expecting other people to gas you up all the time. You're not expecting other people to say, oh my God, you're amazing, you look gorgeous, and all of these things, because you already know that you do, and you already know that you are those things. So you don't need to seek that approval and those compliments from other people. You already know like 100% that you are those things. The reason why a lot of us carry so much anger and resentment around and spread it is because we resent the fact that we aren't able to do what we really want to do. Let's delve into this. If we feel like we can't really be ourselves and we can't really do the things we want to do, of course we're going to be upset. Of course we're going to be angry. We're going to be jaded. We're going to want to take that out on other people. So this is a good thing to think about whenever someone is rude to you for no reason, when the lady in the subway gives you ugly stares because of what you're wearing, when people slam doors in your faces, things like that. You have to think they're holding on to a lot of anger and resentment, probably for things in their past. And a lot of that stems from the fact that they didn't receive the unconditional love from other people that they had hoped to receive, and now are taking out their anger on you, a stranger, for God knows whatever reason. And it's like a cycle of hate. It's a cycle of anger. So those people will take their anger out on you, and you can do a number of things. You can either take that anger in and have your own resentment toward them for doing what they've done to you, and then hold on to that and unknowingly spread that anger to someone else, even just by having an attitude one day and saying something that you didn't really mean to someone. You're kind of perpetuating the cycle. With self-love, if everybody did this, if everybody really tried to be authentically themselves and making choices that come from their heart space and don't come from the approval of other people, these people will generally be happier. It's like if you do things that you really enjoy doing and really love and want to do, you're just automatically going to be happier. And if you are happier, you're going to spread that happiness to other people. It's just like the cycle of anger is contagious, so is happiness. So you're now in a happier cycle. You're in a cycle of joy, and you're spreading that to the world. So that's why I feel like self-love is something that more people need to take seriously. Obviously, not everyone is going to treat you the way you deserve to be treated, But if you really have that acceptance within yourself, you won't need them to treat you a certain way, because you already have enough love that you're generating within yourself that you don't need other people to act a certain way for you to be happy. And that's so, so important, because people aren't always going to act the way that we expect them to or want them to. It's just not going to happen. There are going to be some people that have some severely wounded hearts and souls that won't have the capacity to give you unconditional love. That's just the way the world currently is, unfortunately. But if you have enough love, respect for yourself, inner knowing that you are an amazing and worthy human being, you won't need those people to treat you a certain way for you to know who you are inside. How do we achieve this level of self-love? That is what I want to talk about today. So some keywords I channeled for today's talk about self-love is patience, showing, work, wonder, and reward. So starting off with patience, I feel like this goes back to not being judgmental of yourself and of others. Having patience is the key to that, because if we rush ourselves in every single thing we do, we're obviously going to be frustrated, we're going to be upset. So learning to take it easy. Life is a marathon, not a race. It's all about the journey, not the destination. Patience is key, honestly. And learning how to treat ourselves like a little baby. Like, you wouldn't yell at a baby for being too slow. A toddler that just started walking, would you scream at them for like not being as fast as you are? No, I don't think you would. And if you would, please don't. So give yourself that same energy. Treat yourself like a baby. Nurture yourself. Please, please, please remember to take a step back and not be so hard on yourself. Even if other people are hard on you, even if other people are expecting a lot from you, fuck those people. If you're at a job where people aren't respecting you, maybe reevaluate where you're working. Making the choices that make you feel better are so important, and I don't think we put enough emphasis on that. Leading me to my next point, I feel like a word that I got a lot when I was trying to channel was work. So I do feel like work is important when it comes to self-love, because a way that we learn to appreciate ourselves is by the work we do, by the things we provide to the world and to ourselves. And I'm not necessarily saying that we need to pressure ourselves into creating a genius work of art. No, I think whatever it is that we love doing, just put your energy into that. That's really as simple as it can get. Just put your energy into what you love doing. Whether or not you think it's brilliant, whether or not you think it's amazing, you just need to do what you love, because that's going to make you feel good. And then also putting out whatever it is you've been working on into the world, whether or not it's good or bad, that's going to give you a sense of accomplishment, because you did what you loved, you stuck to your guns, and then you had the vulnerability and the openness of your heart to share that with other people. That's going to give you a feeling of accomplishment and just wonderment that'll fill you with so much self-love. That one act alone, which also brings me to the word showing that I channeled. With showing, it just goes back to being willing to be authentic. Like I said, a lot of anger that we generate within ourselves is from being frustrated that we can't do the things that we want to do. So, how do we eliminate that anger? We do everything in our power to be able to do the things we want to do. Obviously, easier said than done. I know people are going to be like, well, I have bills to pay, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't do this because my parents wouldn't approve of it. I can't do this because my high school friends would laugh at me on Facebook or whatever. There are so many excuses to not do the things we want to do. There are so many excuses, and money being the number one, but you can always find a way to make money doing the thing you love. Is it going to make you a millionaire? Maybe not, probably not. But what it is going to do is it's going to make you happier. And if you're happier, you're going to be healthier. It's going to add so much more value to your life if you're doing the thing that really lights you up with joy. And not only doing that, but sharing that with the world, showing others what you're doing, because everyone comes into this life with a purpose. Everyone comes with gifts that they naturally have and are able to share with others. When you're doing that, when you're actively working on that, that's what really brings us the joy and fulfillment that we're seeking. Oftentimes we get confused because we're told when we're young, well, we're only valuable to the world if we're doing this particular profession, or we're only valuable in our parents' eyes if we're making this amount of money, if we have a house by the age of 25 or 30, if we have a husband or a wife and 3 kids by the time we're 35. You know, there's so many standards that are set by our own personal social circles, our family members, society at large, our communities, and loving yourself means having to let those standards go. It means having to set your own goals, your own personal goals, and not what comes from outside of you. Next, I'm going to talk about the word wander. So I feel like another part of self-love is leaving a little room for the unexpected in your life. You might have a set routine for your work, for your art, for whatever it is that you do that really brings you joy. And you might like sticking to a routine just to hold yourself accountable, which is great, but you need to leave some space for some surprise in your life, for the unknown. Don't be afraid to walk the road not taken or the road less traveled. Don't be afraid to not know what's coming ahead, because there's something to leaving space for surprises in your life. Trust me, you cannot plan every detail of your life ahead of time. There are going to be surprises in your life, and you kind of have to learn how to go with the flow when it comes to that and roll with the punches. So not attaching yourself to any circumstance is a big factor in loving yourself and being okay and being happy under whatever given circumstance. I channeled both the word wonder and wander. So also allow yourself, some travel time if you enjoy traveling, which I feel like most people do. I think traveling is one thing that we all as humans can agree that is beneficial to us in some form. Even if you hate traveling, going somewhere new is actually giving you a fresh perspective and a fresh energy, and there's something that you can always take away from wandering this earth. So keep that in mind. Lastly, I got the word reward also. So that's kind of self-explanatory. Always make sure that you are rewarding yourself for the work that you're doing, for all of these measures you're taking in your life, for the difficult things that you have to go through, the difficult decisions you have to make. Make sure that you give yourself rewards, that you encourage yourself, that you give yourself some kind of positive reinforcement to keep going, because that's what makes life sweet, is the little tiny chocolate chips, in your smoothie. So don't be afraid to give yourself those little treats now and then. Before we get into tips, I pulled some oracle cards and I just want to do a little channeling from what I get with these cards. So let's see. I got experiments, manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. So always make sure you're not being misled or manipulated by someone else. And, with that, we do live in a capitalistic society, so if you work for a big corporation, not saying anything about that, but I'm also not saying anything about that, just make sure you're being valued and respected with whatever it is you're doing. Just like companies evaluate their employees, I think employees need to evaluate companies. Like, what is it that you're providing for me? Are you taking into account my well-being, my health, my happiness? Obviously, in a capitalistic society, most companies aren't valuing their employees' happiness. They're just not. So just take inventory on your life. Is working for a big corporation or a company that undervalues their employees, is that really benefiting you? Is that making you happy, or is it making you cry at night in your bed right before you go to sleep? I know this. I've been there. I've done that, honey. It's not fun. So, something to note. Then we have Coral's wisdom, colony, delicacy, fragility, works that are created over great periods of time. All right, so I think this goes back to the idea of not rushing, having patience. Great works take time. So just remembering that, staying in the present moment, not overworking yourself up over, oh, I haven't achieved this at a certain age or at a certain date, making sure to keep working on it, persevere no matter what, keep going. Air, breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life-bringing energies. So I feel like with this, don't be afraid to ask for help. That is a big thing with self-love. Never be afraid to ask when you need help. Talk to someone who cares. Talk to a therapist if you have to. There's no shame in that. If you need help in any way with anything, talk to someone that you know you can depend on who wants to help you. The crane bag, sacred ocean medicine, clutter, declutter, and choice. So definitely declutter your space, declutter your mind. Take inventory, write down what you value in your life, what you can dispose of, do a whole spring cleaning, and not just necessarily in what you're owning, what's in your room or in your apartment, also the habits that you have. Is it acceptable to be browsing and scrolling through Instagram for 3 hours or 7 hours? Is that okay? Could I be doing something I would actually enjoy more? So definitely getting rid of those habits, those unnecessary objects, and even giving them away to people in need or people that would use them more. I recently came across this quote. I don't know who it was by. I think it was Teal Swan, but she was talking about how when we keep objects around that aren't serving their purpose, the purpose that they're meant to serve, then they are no longer sacred. When something loses what keeps it sacred, it becomes quote unquote negative. Basically, the loss of what keeps something sacred is what makes it evil. All the more reason to use everything you own, and the things that you just don't have the time to use or don't really want to use, give them away to someone who will. And make sure that we're keeping everything in our home sacred. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking and keep facing your true north. So yeah, if you are a worrier like myself, if you're an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, holla, just make sure that you're not overthinking and over-worrying. Also, honorable mention to Virgos out there. Keep your perfectionism in check. Remember, if you're doing it, if you're doing the thing that you love, you're doing it. And just keep going and everything is okay. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Yeah, so it's interesting that the woman in the picture is fractured, because often when we're younger, we'll have some experiences that, from our perspective, kind of change our personality, or our lives, and it kind of fractures up our personality into all of these different pieces, a lot of which we push aside and we say, that's not acceptable because, I don't know, my mom said I couldn't do this. So that part of my personality I have now fractured and pushed to the back of my subconscious. Because we do this unknowingly, it causes a lot of issues for us later in life. So the best thing we can possibly do is kind of delve into our subconscious and see what are these like things that at a young age I taught myself that I needed to do or change, and how is that holding me back in life right now, basically. What is not aligned within me and what needs to change. And then we have protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Ooh, that's perfect, because basically what I was just talking about was soul fractured, a fractured soul. So a soul retrieval is when you actually delve within your subconscious and receive those fractured pieces of your personality that you pushed aside when you were younger. So for anyone out there who resonates with this, I would highly recommend doing a soul retrieval, which you can do with a hypnotherapist, or you could even do it online. They have videos for that. And you could do it through meditation by yourself for free. So I would highly recommend that. Also doing a cord cutting meditation. You basically visualize these negative attachments being cut away from you forever. Things that are sucking the energy out of you, which could just be things that you worry about every single day. That can actually drain you of your energy. So make sure you do cord cuttings, you protect your energy, you protect yourself, so that you can feel safe to do what you really want to do and what you love. And that could even mean cutting people out of your life that are themselves draining your energy from you. Because that is self-love. Setting boundaries is self-love. Then we have trust the niggle. I just find the word niggle like kind of funny. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So this is all about trusting the hunch that you're getting, the little bit of intuition. Like, even if it's like a negative feeling, I would say trust those feelings. If someone is giving you bad vibes and you just sense it, and every time you're around these people you get these bad vibes or you feel bad about yourself, that's kind of like a hint that maybe these people aren't really giving you great energy. These people might actually have negative feelings toward you. So if you get a vibe like that from people, that's kind of like your intuition being like, yeah, they're sending you the evil eye. You know, sometimes people do this without realizing it. You know, people get jealous. So if it's something you think you can overcome with that person, maybe talk to them if they're a close friend and say, hey, I've been getting kind of weird vibes lately. Or if they're not a close friend, maybe just like take a step back from them, distance yourself a little bit. Don't necessarily trust the advice these people give you, because sometimes people will give you bad advice on purpose. It's a sad and unfortunate truth, my people. Oh, I love this card. It says no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. So this is perfect because if there is something that you really don't want to do and you don't have to do, say no. Really just say no, because saying yes to the things that you really don't want to do is the opposite of self-love. It's saying, I have no boundaries. It's saying, I put other people's happiness over my own. It's saying other people are more important than me. And that is not self-love. So if you don't want to do something, don't do it. Say no. That is a big lesson that a lot of people need to learn, and it's something that I had to learn myself. So, and then, funny enough, we now have the yes card. It says, just say yes. So this is about saying yes to what you love. what you actually want to do, the opportunities that you have been waiting for your entire life. Don't second guess those opportunities. Don't over worry yourself to death. Don't think, I'm not worthy of this, I'm not good enough yet, I don't know if I can do this. That is called imposter syndrome. We're going to say no to the imposter syndrome, and we're going to say yes to the things that we really want to do, and yes to the great, beautiful opportunities that life is giving us. All right. Sensuality, express your sensuality. So with this card, I feel like what the world needs more of is the divine feminine. So if you guys are feminine, even if you're not, embracing the more creative side of you, the loving side of you, the nurturing side of you, the flowing side of you, the side of you that just wants to vibe and go with the flow, no pressure, the earthy side of you. That is a part of self-love, and also embracing sensuality, pleasure, sexuality, things that are of the senses. So embracing your body and the things that your body can do as far as senses go. So smell something nice, buy yourself flowers, taste something nice, buy yourself an expensive meal if you can afford it. Hey, even if it's not expensive, if it's something that tastes amazing that you love, buy that. Like, I don't know, treat yourself to some M&Ms, honey. I love some good M&Ms. What else? Look at some art, things that your eyes enjoy. Look at things that you think are beautiful. Touch things that you feel nice. Like go in the water, float in the water. Even, some people like to play with slime and do stuff like that. Like things that your body enjoys. Make sure to embrace that, because that is a part of self-love as well. Originality, blaze your own trail. So it kind of just goes back to what we've been saying before. Don't be afraid to march to the beat of your own drum. That's what life's about. None of us are 100% the same. Like, no two people are 100% the same. Every single one of us has something unique and original to bring to the table. So you, first of all, need to understand, learn what that is, learn about yourself. And then second of all, don't be afraid to explore that and share that with the world and go your own way if you have to. Then we have knowledge, seek knowledge. So whatever you're curious about, learn about it. Even if it's something that you wish you would have started learning about when you were 10, but now you're 55. Who cares how old you are? Just start learning about it. Pick up a book, read it. No one cares when you started learning about it. They only care about the passion you have behind the information, and they only care about the knowledge that you acquire. So, hey, if you feel like it, read 50 books in a year about the same topic. You'll become a master on it pretty quickly after that, I think. So, whatever it is you're curious about, just go ahead and learn about it. Seek all of the knowledge. Your dreams need a practical plan. So with dreaming also comes action, putting things into a practical plan, the physicality of actually creating things and actually doing things. That's really important too. So you can dream up your life all you want, but putting it into a practical plan and executing it is also a part of self-love. It's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So, like I said before, you might need to cut cords. You might need to cut cords with people. You might need to cut cords with bad habits. But most importantly, cut the cords with your negative thoughts. The negative thoughts you say to yourself daily. You need to cut the cords with that. And you can do that in meditation. You can do that through mirror work, which I'm going to talk about really soon. And you can just make the intention every day. Set the intention in the morning to be as positive with your thoughts as you possibly can. look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. So this is a lesson that I had to learn and that I'm still learning and that I know a lot of people are probably still having to learn, but there is a bigger plan overall to things, and as humans we tend to hone in on the little tiny little details of our lives. But if you look at the bigger picture in any situation, you're always going to see something that you might have missed when you were in your feels and in your emotions. In the bigger picture of things, there's always a lesson for us to learn in every single circumstance that we undergo. In any highs, any lows, there's always a lesson that needs to be learned. And that lesson is going to unlock a gift in our life. It's going to unlock a natural ability we have. It's going to eliminate maybe a negative belief we had. It's going to heal us. It's going to open our hearts, whatever it is. There's always a positive to every negative if you look at the bigger picture. Angel therapy. Give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. So this is a big one, guys. This is something that changed my life when I found out about this. You have angels and spirit guides on your team, and all you have to do is literally say, angels, I want to stop thinking about this. If you're overthinking about something, just say, angels, I want to stop overthinking about this. Please help me. Angels, will you help me with this? If there's something that you feel like is burdening you, is really heavy, weighing down on you, and you just can't take it, you can literally say, angels, please help me with this. I don't think I can do it right now. And they will lift your burdens from you. It's as simple as asking. The issue is you have to ask, because there is free will. They can't do anything. They can't intervene if you don't ask. It's just a part of it. One of the laws of the universe is we do have free will. So whether or not you believe in angels, they aren't necessarily angels. They're honestly just multi-dimensional creatures that are in a higher dimensional than us 3D humans. But yeah, whatever it is you believe, I mean, if you're an atheist, I'm sure atheists believe in aliens, right? If you're an atheist, it's an alien. Hey, you got aliens looking out for you, but they're on your team. So the point is, you have help, and always remember that. Then we have clear your space, Archangel Jophiel, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use Feng Shui. So yes, Feng Shui is lit, guys. Like, I'm not an expert on it, but I have taken a class on it. It's pretty freaking awesome, and it's something that we can all use, even in small little ways. Like, just put like a citrine crystal in the money corner of your house. Citrine is the stone of abundance, you know, put 2 and 2 together. You can put a rose quartz in the love portion of your house. Rose quartz is for love. I could go on. I used to work at a crystal shop. But these little things we can do with Feng Shui can make a big impact on our lives. You know what to do. So last card of the day, you know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Big message here. Learn how to tune into your inner knowing and your intuition. Learn how to tune into your inner voice. You are going to need this. If you don't have a strong inner voice, you can be manipulated by anything. Any propaganda, any messages, any news source, any person, any company, anything. You need to learn how to trust your inner voice and your inner guidance. That is key to self-love. And through that, through learning who you are, knowing who you are very, very deeply, you'll never make the wrong decision. Ever. You're never going to regret any decision you make. All right, so that was the card portion of my talk. So let's talk about some practices that have helped me. I'm going to keep this brief. Number 1, mirror work. Mirror work is pretty awesome, and it's easy and it's free. All you literally have to do is stand in the mirror, smile at yourself, look yourself in the eyes, and say, I am lovable, Give yourself a couple compliments, whatever it is you feel is authentic. I like your eye color. I like your eyes. I like the outfit you're wearing today. I like the way that you do this. Give yourself a compliment, and then of course always tell yourself that you're lovable, you're beautiful, and you love yourself. Do this every day until you actually start to believe it, because trust me, over time you will start to believe it. Not the first day. The first day you're probably going to be like, well, that was a lie, and I just lied to myself. But over time is what counts. Be persistent with this. Keep doing it. Keep telling yourself you love yourself. Number 2, talk to yourself. This one is fun. So I like talking to myself. Basically, I'm talking to myself right now because it's just me and this little camera. But I like to talk to myself when I do mirror work too, or sometimes I'll just record a video just for myself and I won't upload it anywhere. I'll just kind of like talk to, you know, when you have your phone and it's in like selfie mode, I'll just do like a selfie video and just kind of explain something to myself, like either how I'm feeling currently, something that bothered me, something that really stuck with me from my childhood. Basically, it's like therapy, but with yourself. And the reason why I will say this is effective, not saying it's more effective than therapy, but the reason why it's a little different is because even in therapy, you're very consciously aware that you're speaking to a different person. You're speaking to someone that is not you. But when you are talking to yourself, it's like the most comfortable you can possibly ever get, because you know you're just talking to yourself. No one else is going to see it. It's just you. It's like as raw as you can possibly be. Let go of anything that you've been holding in. Just let things go. It's so therapeutic and wonderful, and it's great for self-love because you kind of start to see yourself as a friend, as a trusted advisor, as your own best friend. And that's what's really key for self-love, is treating yourself like a best friend, treating yourself like a little child, really just embracing yourself and nurturing yourself and loving yourself. Tip number 3, journaling. Journaling is probably very similar to all the other tips that I have listed already. But with journaling, it's like a natural flow of your thoughts. So when you're journaling, you can start off by just how you're feeling in the current moment, and then just let the pen go, and like whatever comes into your head, let it just flow out. Because the act of writing, the physical act of writing, is kind of like draining those thoughts away and out of your mind. So it's kind of like getting them out to where you don't have to overthink or over worry about anything. And then also with journaling, you can list out things that you love. You can write out affirmations. You can write out goals, your to-do list. It's really just letting go of anything that's been really pressuring you, because things that we hold in our mind can start to weigh down on us. So letting that out, letting that go is very key for loving yourself. Lastly, I'm going to say pamper yourself. Make sure that you are treating yourself and your body with massage if you can afford that. Honestly, if you can't, a great investment for me has been these like massage tools that you can use at home. Like a roller. I have these massage balls that you can actually like put up against a wall and against your back, and it can like, it basically feels like someone's giving you a deep tissue massage. Like you can really get into like those hard to reach places. Or if you have a friend or a partner that's willing to give you a massage, if you give them one back, that's also a great thing. But always making sure to do things that make your body feel good. Rewarding your body. Working out is another great one. Moving is so good for your energy because it lets out the steam, the anger, the heaviness, and that's a part of self-love as well, getting rid of all of the things that are troubling you and weighing you down. And then also, like I briefly mentioned before, treating yourself to a little snack every now and then. And I don't just mean food. I mean things that are fun and not necessarily great for you, like eating a whole tub of large popcorn at the movies. I mean, if the movies are a thing anymore. Or buying yourself that expensive piece of makeup. Having that box of glazed donuts. Sometimes treating yourself is just an important part of self-love. It's like giving you that little reward that you need every now and then, but just make sure you're balanced, balance everything out, don't overindulge. So I know this has been a long video, but I just want to close this out by saying the most important thing you can do is to learn how to trust yourself. I could do a whole talk about learning how to trust yourself, because that is not easy for everyone. You know, we're told by the media every day we shouldn't trust ourselves and that we should trust them and whatever they're trying to sell us. So it definitely comes with time. It goes back to the inner knowing I was discussing earlier. The easiest steps you can take are asking yourself questions, like really getting to know yourself. You can do this in the mirror, you can do this through journaling, but asking yourself, what do I really love? What do I really enjoy? Take the time to answer those questions, honestly. And if that's the only thing you take from this whole video, the one thing you take away, to give yourself 5 minutes out of the day to really ask yourself, what is the one thing I would like to do before I die in this lifetime? Give yourself the trust, give yourself the respect to ask yourself that question. Love yourself enough to honor that and follow through with that. That's all I have to say today. I really hope you enjoyed this, and please leave me a comment about whatever thoughts came up and whatever else you want to see me and Indigo discuss with my new wand. Thanks for everything. Bye.